Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to learn about class 8 science first chapter, crop production and management. Okay, so starting with, what is a crop? Crop is nothing but same kind of plants grown for food on a large scale. This is really important. Crops are what? Crops are the same kind of plants grown for food on a large scale. Okay. Then, on the basis of growing season, this thing is also necessary. On the basis of what? On the basis of growing season. Okay. Crops are divided into two types: kharif crops and rabi crops. See, kharif crops and rabi crops. Now, kharif crops, these are the crops that are grown in the rainy season. See, grown in the rainy season. That is from June to September. These are important. Note it. Like, this chapter is a bit theoretical, but you need to remember this. This is actually a revision lecture. Okay? So, see this. The kharif crops are grown in rainy season from June to September. And what are the crops? The crops are soybean, paddy and maize. I hope everybody knows that rice needs a vast quantity of water for its growth. Right? Now see, the soil requirements, generally, it is in general. Okay? The soil requirements, it is in general. Note it. This is in general. Okay. Now, the soil requirements include alluvial loam, means alluvial loamy soil with a subsoil of clay. Right? So what is it? Alluvial loamy soil with a subsoil of clay. Understood? Now, the cultivation method. The seeds for the kharif crops can be sown through broadcasting, dibbling, drilling or transplanting. Let me make you understand this. You can just cut this dibbling, as this thing is not in your syllabus or even NCERT. So, broadcasting means there is a person, right, and here's the field. He is going to just throw the seeds like this, and the seeds will fall off on the field. This thing is field. Let us write, this thing is field. Okay? And the things which are falling down are, these are what? Seed. Right? I hope you understood broadcasting. Now, drilling. What is drilling? Drilling does not mean that using a driller you are just drilling into the earth. It's the same kind of just sowing the seeds, but with an use of a machinery. Okay. Now, transplantation. This thing is important. The transplantation means, like you have seen the rice or the paddy at first in a nursery. Okay, in a nursery in protected area, the seeds of the paddy or rice are sown just like that. And when the seeds just sprout a little bit, right, and grow like 2 to 3 leaves, this happens in about 2 to 3 weeks. Till then they are in the, where? They are in the nursery. Okay, I'm just making you understand. Then the seeds are taken away from the nursery to the field, and they grow by themselves without the care of the human, just not to that level of extent as it was in the nursery, but it's not like they're growing on their own. Okay, I hope you understood. Then The next thing is rabi crops. See, the rabi crops, the crops that are grown in winter season. The winter season, the crops which are grown are known as rabi crops from October to March. Like now, these crops can be found. Example, wheat, gram and pea. Like pea is the most common example. Yes, it is found just right now only and nothing else. And no time else, right? Then, the soil requirements for rabi crops. What is it? It is clay loamy soil or black soil. Okay? They, like all the crops grow well in the loamy soil. They grow the most well in loamy soil, obviously, and the requirements is like the loamy soil would have a bit of clay in it. Okay, and in case of kharif crops, the soil, loamy soil should be alluvial. Okay, now moving on. The cultivation methods. Now the cultivation methods include the broadcasting, I already told you. Dibbling, you can cut it off, or drilling, the same thing. Now the seeds are generally sown soon after the rainy season. This is an important one. Just after harvesting the kharif crops, if a farmer wants to grow rabi crops, he sows the seeds, then only, just after the rainy season. Now, after this, we need to talk about the green revolution and the organic farming. These ones are really important. Green revolution and organic farming. First, let me tell you about organic farming. Organic farming is the practice of cultivating crops without, really important, without the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers and weedicides also. They are like fully, the organic farming is done with the help of organic manure. Okay, it is done with the help of organic manure. Now, what is green revolution? See, the green revolution, it was a program started in the 1960s. Why? Just to increase the agricultural productivity by the use of improved seeds and advanced agricultural technologies. Okay, now the practices of crop production. Now we are actually starting the chapter. This is the main concept of the chapter. So, the steps of cultivation we are learning. The first step includes preparation of soil. What is it? Preparation of soil. Then, the second step is sowing. Third, adding manure and fertilizers. Fourth is irrigation or providing water. Fourth one, weeding. That means removal of undesired plants. Then we need to harvest the crops. After harvesting, we need to clean it like threshing and storage. Now, let's discuss each one of these in detail. Okay? So, see this. Starting with preparation of soil for cultivation. What do you mean by this? Loosening and upturning of the soil is known as tilling or plowing. So what is plowing or tilling? Loosening and turning of the soil is known as plowing and tilling. This means there is a field filled of clay, mud and all that. Now we just need to, there's many layers of soil, right? The uppermost layer is the richest one and there are also some layers below. Now we till means we do one thing, which is with the help of a plow or shovel, we just make this below things come upwards and the upper things go down, and that means we are actually mixing up the soil. In layman words, it is mixing up the soil. I hope you understood this. Then, what is used in plowing? I already told you the most common implement is plow. This is the most common implement. Okay, then moving on, let's move on to the next page. See, now we are just getting to know the structure of plow. Plow contains plowshare and plowshaft. So what are they actually? The plowshare is a strong triangular strip of iron. So see this. Suppose this is a plow. Like this is the handle, and this handle wala thing is the plow shaft. Okay, this is the plow shaft, and there is a triangular iron thing. Let me just mark it in blue. Here a triangular iron thing is present. This one is known as the plowshare. Okay, plowshare is a strong triangular strip of iron, and plowshaft is the main wooden axis. Okay, now this plow is operated with the help of animals. Animals help them to operate the plow. Then what does it do? Aids in plowing. What does it do? Brings nutrient-rich soil to top. Means it is aiding in plowing, right? Then helps in aeration of soil. Actually, this is a function or feature of plowing. I hope you understood that. Now it's time for hoe. Hoe is like another simplified version of plow. You can tell it like that. Now the hoe consists of a long rod of wood or iron, just like the plow. Then it contains a strong, broad and bent plate of iron at one of its ends. Like these two features are the same for hoe and plow. And also it is driven by animals, and you can also use it by hand also if you want. Then hoe is used for removing weeds and loosening the soil. This loosening the soil or plowing is the main function, but actually removing weeds or weeding is done like usually at occasional cases. Okay, I'm writing occasional. Okay, I hope you understood that. Now another one is the cultivator. Now this cultivator is like a modern tool. It is not a traditional one, as it is operated by electricity, petrol or all that. It is now a modern tool, not a traditional implement. See, it is written cultivator is modern method of plowing. Cultivator is what? Modern method of plowing. And it saves both time and labor. As it is modern, obviously, now it is carried out with the help of a tractor. A tractor gets attached with the cultivator, and it just roams around with the cultivator being attached in the field. Now, next step. Step number 2. Step number 2 is sowing. So, what do we mean by sowing? Planting of seeds. This thing, planting of seeds in the soil is sowing. Easiest thing. Now, which seeds should you choose? Like the damaged ones or the good and healthy ones? Like, you must have some common sense. It should be the good quality and the healthy seeds must be used, right? Now, when this comes, we need to learn about the seed test. Now, how to do? Like, there is a beaker filled with water, and you just put some seeds, and if the seeds float, then it is died out seeds are bad. Now, floating means bad. If it sinks, you should use them. They are really good. This is known as the seed test. Okay. Now, What are the implements of tools used in sewing? Starting with the traditional tools. What are they? The traditional tool is a seed drill. The seed drill is a funnel shaped. The seeds are placed in the soil with the help of long pipe with sharp ends. Okay. Now actually this is a description of seed drill. Another thing is the tool is driven by a plow, as it is a traditional one. Then the seed drill actually contains a set of uniformly arranged tubes. Let me just draw a seed drill for you. Here's actually a cup-like structure is present. Sorry, it's a really bad one. Yes, a cup-like structure is present, and then many tubes go like this, and they have sharp triangular structures like that aids in putting the seeds in the soil. Okay. Yes, I know it's a bad drawing, but okay, in the case of understanding. Now, seed drill contains a set of uniformly arranged tubes. See, they are all in the same direction, right? You can see this, that they all are in the same direction, uniformly arranged. Now, seeds are uniformly placed in the soil at appropriate depth. Obviously, if these guys are uniformly arranged, the seeds will always be placed in an uniform order, and this is driven with the help of a tractor or plow also. Okay. Now, step number 3, addition of manure and fertilizer. Now, what do these guys do, manure and fertilizer? They supply the plant with essential nutrients. They give essential nutrients for growth and development. Okay? For growth and development. Next. So, let's talk about manures. Now, what is manure? Manure is an organic compound which is prepared from the decomposition of plants and animal waste. Okay? Now, it provides organic matter and humus to the soil, but it is less rich in plant nutrients. Now, what are the plant nutrients? They are NPK, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. Okay? But there the manures are less rich in them. Now, moving on. The manure enhances water holding capacity and texture of the soil, and it makes the soil porous for proper aeration. Actually, manure does all the good stuff, but it is only one disadvantage, is that it is less rich in plant nutrients. Okay. Now, actually, in your point of exam view, it is really important to learn the difference of manure and fertilizer. These are the points of manure, and the fertilizer point is coming up. See, these are the points of fertilizer. The fertilizers are commercially available. They are commercially available as inorganic salt, rich in plant nutrients. This is the main point. They are rich in plant nutrients, and they do not provide humus, and they make the soil less fertile. In the long run, if you use fertilizers continuously, they are making your soil less fertile. Now, step number 4 is irrigation. See, irrigation. Now, what is irrigation? Irrigation is nothing but supplying water to the plant at different intervals of the year is called irrigation. Now, what are the sources? Like, name any source from where you can get water, and it will be the source of irrigation. Now, wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, canals, rivers, dams, etc. Now, the methods of irrigation. The traditional methods and the modern methods. Now, you don't need to learn that much about the traditional ones. Actually, question comes from the modern ones, mostly. Now, see, the traditional methods include moat, chain pump, dhikli, and rahat. Now, no need of getting into that much depth of these things. You can just know the names. it will be fine. Now the modern methods, these are really important. Sprinkler system and drip system. Now the sprinkler system is useful, really helpful for what? Uneven land and sandy soil. For uneven land and sandy soil. And uses what and how does it work? Like there is a system of pipe, and some places of the pipe there are perpendicular pipe with a nozzle, rotating nozzle, and it sprinkles water like so. Okay. Now then it provides efficient or sufficient coverage of water for a large area, as it is spraying the water, not just directly supplying it. Now the drip irrigation is really useful for areas where there is an insufficient amount of water present, like there is water scarcity, as the water falls drop by drop at the roots of the plant. This is the most important one. Okay, most important one. Note it. Then, the drip system provides efficient irrigation and prevents water wastage. Another main thing, prevents water wastage. And this is used commonly for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. Now, moving on to number 5, protection from weeds or weeding. Okay. So what are weeds? Weeds are the undesirable plants. They are the plants which we don't like. We don't like them. So hence they are undesirable plants that grow along with the crop. Examples include xanthium, parthenium. They are common weeds. And what do? They actually compete with the crop for many things, notably water, nutrients, space and light. Okay. Then, what is weeding then? The process of removal of the undesirable plants or weeds from the cultivated field is known as weeding. Okay. Now, what are the ways by which we can do weeding? Like there are many ways. We can remove just like this, the soil, the root is here and there is a plant, suppose. Okay. And here comes our little hand. Okay. And you can just catch the plant in your hand and just steer it upwards. Right? You can do weeding by hand. Then you can also do weeding by using khurpa or khurpi. Same thing. Khurpi or khurpa. It is a structure like this. Okay. And it is used for removing weeds. Also you can remove weeds with the help of plow and seed drill. We already discussed about them. Now, what is the chemical methods? These are the mechanical ways. Mechanical means using force. Then, the chemical methods of weeding. They are spraying of weedicides. What are the spraying of weedicides? Example 2,4-D, malathion, and many are there. Now, there we are coming to the 6th step of crop production. It is harvesting. What is harvesting? The process of cutting the matured crops from the field is called harvesting. Now, we have done harvesting. Okay. Now, harvesting can be done with the help of many things. Like you can harvest crops, means you can cut the crop with the help of many things. And the most common thing used for harvesting is sickle or a harvester. And we'll come to this combine a little later. See, the process of removing grains from chaff or hay is known as threshing. Okay. Let me make you understand threshing and winnowing. See, here are the stems, dried stems, and here the grains are attached. See, if you observe really carefully, the small strands which hold the grain is like they don't have the strength. They lose strength. And hence when you beat this, okay, beat these crops on the rock, the grains come up. And this part, the stem, is actually known as the shaft. Okay? Hope you understood that. Now, this is known as threshing. Now, what is winnowing? Like the grains that we have threshed have another covering on them, protected covering on them. Now, by winnowing, we just remove the cover. Okay? And the cover is known as husk. And how? Like common sense, the husk is really light than the grain. And hence, when we just blow wind, the husk blows off. Now, moving on. The combine. The combine is a machine which is a mixture of harvester and a thresher. Like it will harvest the crops and will also just give you the grains. You just need to carry out the winnowing manually or with the help of winnower machine. Okay? Now moving on. Now storage. Okay, storage means the process of keeping crop grains safe from spoilage by how? Moisture, insect, rats and microbes for a long time is called storage, right? And the storage are of two types, obviously small scale and large scale. Then the small scale storage is usually done in jute bags and metallic bins. It is done in jute bags and metallic bins, and the large scale is done in grain silos or granaries. Like the silos are big, huge buildings that contain only loads and loads of grains. Whereas the granaries also same, but a little smaller as compared to the silos. Okay, hope you understood. Now this chapter is really easy, nothing. It may seem boring when you read theoretically, but actually this is the easiest chapter and the highest scoring chapter. Now, from agriculture, we need to go to animal husbandry, which is a part of agriculture only. Okay, now the animal husbandry means the science of rearing animals. What rearing animals? Rearing means like we are caring and seeing, taking care of the animals for commercial purpose. For commercial purpose means for selling them on a large scale. This is important. Okay, it is known as animal husbandry. Now, what does it include? It includes feeding, breeding, and disease control and providing shelter and care. Feeding means giving them food, breeding means producing offspring, disease control means protecting them from various viral microbial attacks, and providing shelter and care. Now, within animal husbandry, what are the things that we get? See, milk, meat and eggs. Now, from where do you get eggs? Obviously, chicken and ducks. You don't see eggs of dinosaur selling in the market, right? Obviously, hence chicken and ducks are reared on a large scale by humans, not dinosaur or any other bird. Now, meat. Meat is obtained from chicken, goat and sheep. Same thing, you don't see the meat of lions and all that. Now, milk. Milk is obtained from cow, buffalo, goat and camel. Now, these are the selective breeds and actually they provide good and real good and healthy and tasty, nutritious things. And hence these guys are only reared. Obviously, you don't see just milk of any other animal selling in the market, right? So that's all about this, and nothing else. So this chapter is the easiest chapter in your syllabus, the first chapter also, and highest scoring chapter. It is the highest scoring chapter also. And with this, we are done with the chapter. Thank you. very much for being with me and understanding this chapter. And we'll again meet in another video. Thank you. Please subscribe and support me.